Iron Rattler at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas and San Antonio, Texas is widely considered to be one of the best RMCs. Let's talk about that ride today. In this video, I'm going to give my full review on this attraction. Let's start off talking about the layout of this ride. You start off with this 179-foot slanted drop. Many people say this is one of the best moments of the ride, and I have to say I strongly disagree. I did not find this drop to be anything more than ordinary roller coaster first drop. A lot of people say this is one of their favorite drops, and I just didn't see what was so spectacular about it. You then head up into this quarry wall section of the ride. This is not the main quarry wall section of the ride, though. This is just a couple of bank turns that sends you back down into this trench. Then you go through a 0G roll, which then sends you into the main quarry wall section part of the ride. And this is where the ride loses most of its momentum. You do an airtime hill, then you get thrown into a couple of wave turns, what I like to call wave turns, but they're just really mini banked turns there. But then you get another airtime moment, and then you finally jump back off the quarry wall, which I have to say is the best portion of the ride right there. That is the stellar highlight moment where you really do get some good moments of ejector coming off the quarry wall there. You then curve your way back into this tunnel, and you curve your way back up out into the brake run. That is the layout of Iron Rattler, but there's a lot more to the story with this attraction. The theming is really what makes this ride so unique, because it is themed to a snake. You have a concrete statue of a rattlesnake out in front of the entrance that actually has a water feature. I believe it's the tail and the head that shoot out some water. And then actually the cars of the roller coaster have a rattlesnake at the very front and a rattler coming out the very back. So it is a snake. The car itself is a snake. So that makes sense for why you are twisting your way around this rocky desert quarry wall. It makes a lot of sense now because you are a snake. You are taking on the adventure of a snake. You are slithering up and down the mountainside. You're going back into a tunnel. You know, this is the adventure of a rattlesnake, and it makes so much sense, and the theming really does work, because this is a ride that you really don't need to have interactive elements throughout the ride to really make sense of the theme, because you yourself are a snake going on this adventure, which I think is really awesome and really cool. And I think for a Six Flags theme is one of the best that they have to offer. So let me talk about the ride a little bit more in depth and kind of highlight where I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed or a lot of people are going to love about this ride. The first drop, I know I kind of talked about that. I don't think it's that great. A lot of people say this is one of the best first drops out there. It's overrated completely. It's fun. It's a good drop, but I would not say it's anything different than your normal RMC first drop. If you've been on, Lightning Rod or any other RMCs, you're not going to find anything that much different with this drop. I don't think there's anything spectacular about this drop. It's a good drop, but the slanting really doesn't add anything to it. It was fun, but it was really a moment that I thought I was going to go, wow, and I didn't, and I was let down by that quite a bit. I was, however, very pleased by that airtime moment coming off the quarry wall. I thought that was probably one of the best airtime moments I've experienced on RMC, and that's really the only moment on this ride that I would say is a highlight moment. There are not really that many highlight moments. I think this ride really does something well, and that is working together as a group to form a great coaster. Other than that one airtime moment coming off the quarry wall, there is no fantastic elements that really are great or are spectacular, but they are good enough that they work together to form a great ride collectively as a group. They function together as a great ride, and I think that's important with a roller coaster, because sometimes you do have one moment that really outshines the rest of the ride, and I think this ride does a good job at making sure every element does a pretty good job at what it's supposed to do, instead of focusing on just one portion of the ride being spectacular. It does have a little bit of pacing issues when you get on that second quarry wall section. You will start to notice a significant slowdown, but once you jump right back off on that airtime moment that I said is spectacular and go into that tunnel, you do remain going at a fast pace until you hit the brakes. So Iron Rattler at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas gets a 9.5 out of 10 in my book. It's a great ride. It's spectacular. I can't give it a full 10 out of 10 because, like I said, I don't think there is a certain moment on the ride where you go, holy crap, that was insane. I think the ride works together to complement itself, but I don't think there is that moment of wow. So I'm not going to give it a full 10 out of 10 because I would like there to be a moment. And like I said, I think it works well because it is good when a ride works together to form a great ride, but I do like when there is a moment on the ride that you definitely do. Oh, that's my favorite part. On this, you're really going to have to nitpick and be like, oh, I like this moment a lot. Some people might say the first drop's their favorite moment. Some people might say the 0G roll is their favorite moment. My favorite moment is coming off the quarry wall, but there is no moment that really is the highlight of the ride. It all works together well, which I think is great in a certain aspect, but I do think in order to be a great ride, you have to have that great element, that great portion of your ride, and I don't think sadly this ride has that. It is a fantastic ride. It has some really great and amazing features to it. It is a phenomenal ride at a phenomenal park, and I would highly recommend getting down to Fiesta, Texas and checking it out.